A thing I've been thinking about a lot as a team leader lately is what is your actual main job, right? Now, obviously, there's jobs to be done. I'm like a CEO, also the CFO, director of operations, all the things, right? But the reality is, like, what is my main job is something that's been on my mind right now as we're scaling our company faster than we ever have and realizing that we have built a lot of systems so that I'm not doing everything anymore. And the thing that I've come to realize is my job as the real visionary of the company is attraction. And it's in several different ways. And what I'm going to do is actually tie this into a concept that Jeff Bezos talks about in shareholder letters. And this is the flywheel approach. So before we get too far into this, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm a team leader, owner of Onyx Homes. And this is a start to finish podcast that is specifically for team leaders. Really, this is me just sharing my story of growing my company, Onyx Homes, from start to finish. So if you want to follow along, like, subscribe, do all the things. If you want to get on my email list, it's probably the best way to get the inside look of what's going on. Link is going to be in the description below if you want to do that. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So I want to go over the concept of the flywheel because Jeff Bezos talks about this a lot in the shareholder letters. If you haven't gone through, read, or listened to that, I highly recommend it. But the idea of a flywheel approach is one thing feeds into the next, which feeds into the next. Now, let me pull up Amazon's really quick, because I think everybody understands Amazon, and this will help, I think, drive a little more context. And I'm going to tie this into how I look at this with the topic I have for us today. So Amazon's flywheel is if they have more selection on their website, that is going to lead to a better customer experience. A better customer experience is going to lead to more traffic to their website, and more traffic to their website is going to lead to more sellers. Right? So more selection, more customer experience, more traffic, more sellers leads to more selection, which then leads to a better customer experience. All of this grows Amazon. Now, what happens is as Amazon grows, one other thing spins off is a lower cost structure, and a lower cost structure allows them to sell things for cheaper, which drives customer experience, which drives more traffic, more sellers, more selection, Amazon grows, so on and so on. So all of these things feed from one thing into the next. Well, I thought about this in regards to teams is what we are currently doing right now. Now, we run a leads team model, so I will say this, take it with a gigantic grain of salt, as I'm talking about my company here, not necessarily yours. However, I do feel like it's hard to run a team where you don't have any lead generation for your agents. Anyway, what we're looking at right now is we have been generating leads for our agents, right? So that makes our agent experience more valuable. And when agents experience is more valuable, they stay longer, but they also do more deals. And doing more deals helps the company grow, which has let us increase our marketing budgets. So something I've talked about on this podcast, on our email list a lot this year is we have 5x'd our lead flow this year. And it, like, no surprise, we started the year with 17 pending out, or closed January with 17 closed deals in January, which is like our average. And we're at 44 pending deals right now. We're going to close 38 deals this month in July. So from 17 in January to 38 in July, that is more than 2xing the business rather than on a month-to-month basis in 6 months, but we 5x lead gen. So my point is, if we have agents that are doing more deals, this is thinking my team model perspective, but our agents do deals. We add more leads to the company, so our agents do more deals. More deals equals the company growing, meaning we are able to invest more resources into more leads and making our agents' lives easier. So both of those things kind of together, which leads to agents do more deals, which leads to the company growing, reinvesting into more leads and more resources, which has the agents do more deals, attracts more agents to the business. And the big thing that I have realized now as well too is while this happens, while a company grows, another thing that happens is we attract better talent. The people that we're hiring right now, when we do hire, are a much higher caliber than when we were hiring 3 or 4 years ago. And the people we're hiring want to work with us because they see what we're doing in the industry. So this idea of more leads, more agents, company grows, like as simple as a team is, sure, but like think how complex Amazon is. And they can boil everything they do down to this flywheel of if they have more selection, better customer experience. If they have better customer experience, more people go to Amazon.com. If more people go to Amazon.com, more sellers will want to sell on Amazon.com, which is going to lead to, again, more selection. And then a spinoff of Amazon getting bigger is they they have a lower cost structure, which allows them to sell things for lower, which even feeds into customer experience better, which leads to more traffic, sellers, and selection. So if Amazon can boil their business down to being this simple, why can't we as team leaders boil down to our agent retention, right? Because agents retain and stay on the team, we do more deals. And because we generate leads, our agents do more deals. And because we're doing more deals, we are adding in more resources to retain our agents longer, right? So like this is an exact flywheel, but the concept is that simple. So we just continue this year to grow the company and reinvest, not this year, the last 2-3 years, we have been continuing to reinvest over and over and over and over and over to make our company more valuable to our agents, which has led to our agents selling more homes. So our per person productivity is going up. Agents are happier. They're doing more deals. They're making more money, which allows the company to grow, which allows us to reinvest more money. So that was what I wanted to go over as far as today is my job is to attract. So we're attracting more deals through lead generation. We are attracting more agents because we have to have the agents to handle the leads, and you have to have the leads to feed the agents, assuming that's a pillar of your offer to your agents, which it is for us, which was my caveat in the beginning. So I have to attract more deals to the company. I have to attract more agents to the company. And I say we as a company have to do that. And then the third thing is attract employees, because as we are growing, we become more and more dependent on, I can't do anything at all. I can't do everything anymore. I feel like I can't hardly do anything anymore. But the bigger that we get, the more important those hires are, because they're just more important roles. When you're hiring your very first assistant, I remember hiring our first assistant in COVID when everybody had just got fired. We posted a job posting, had like 600 applications. And even right now, we just put a job posting up for a videographer this last month and had like 480 applications in 2 weeks. It was insane. It was also insane how unqualified most of them were. But it just goes to show you how many people are looking for work. But anyway, that's been the thing that's on my mind, is attracting more business. So here's what we're actually doing for attracting more business. We have gone all in on content. If you have not noticed, if you don't follow me, if you don't follow along with what we're doing, totally fine. But we have really doubled down. There's 4 different things I want to talk about here. Number 1 is we doubled down on partnerships. Think of our Zillow Flex partnership, Realtor.com, all the other ones. There's a million of them. But we've really doubled down on the big ones, which is Realtor.com and Zillow. And with Zillow, we've about 5x'd our lead flow through them alone since the beginning of the year. And that they're begging us to take even more. So that's number 1, is double down on those partnerships if something was already working. Number 2 is where we've built out our inside sales team. So this department is to handle massive lead flow, which we have and are building. We have large lead flow, I will say, and we are prepping for massive lead flow. Leads into my third thing is we're investing right now. I'll say investing is the word. $20,000 a month into Google pay-per-click and retargeting. This is going to spit out deals 6 months from now. So we started about 3 months ago. There's a 9-month sales cycle to these types of leads. So I am fully anticipating to have already been investing in the department and the lead flow for 3 months. I am planning on investing it for another 6 months, for a total of 9, before we see any type of ROI whatsoever. And it won't even be ROI right away. It'll be hopefully 6 months after that to break even, and then it'll be a positive ROI. But again, the reason we're doing this is just having the ISAs now is adding more value to the agents, because they're getting more opportunities right off the bat. They're also fielding fewer of the top of funnel leads. They're focusing more on the bottom of funnel leads, which is what every agent wants. And then number 4 is all in on organic content. So organic content like this. This is a passion project for me because I love talking about business, and I also want to document me growing the company from start to finish. So that's kind of a selfish this particular content is. But we're going all in on consumer-facing content. So we've been running a YouTube channel for the last 2 or 3 years, which is an evergreen, think like relocation type channel, where we're talking about all about OC is the name, Orange County. All about Orange County is the name of the channel. It's the brand. And it's talking all about Orange County. So it's pros and cons of living in this city and all the different things in this neighborhood and why move here, why not, pros and cons of Orange County versus LA, so on and so on, that type of content. And that's done well for us. It's generated several $100,000 in GCI in the last 2 or 3 years, which is not insignificant, but it's not it doesn't move the needle in regard to how large our company is, right? We're going to do, for reference, we're going to do 6 million-ish in revenue this year. So 200 grand is like, not a lot. But the leads are incredibly high quality, and the volume of leads and the volume of that account picking up is happening very fast. So we've been doing that, and what we decided to do this last quarter was go all in on the social aspect of this. Social meaning Instagram and TikTok. So we have 2 years of content banked. We've been posting 2 or 3 videos a week for the last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. So we are taking all of that old content, chopping it up, making social content. I'm out filming home tours, which I haven't done in years. And we're making all of this content. My entire marketing director of brand, her entire marketing focus is this channel, is all about Orange County, is specifically the socials. And for reference, I don't have the back end for the TikTok in front of me, but in the last 30 days, just on the Instagram, we are at, let me see if I can see the views. We're at 468,000 views in just the last 30 days on our Instagram page. And I know on TikTok was about 3x that. So we're well over 1 million views. This is just in the last 30 days. Well over 1 million views between the 2 pages combined. And we're already having deal flow from it. We've been doing this for like 75 days at this point now. And it is abundantly clear that it is working and is going to work. So this is the reason we built out the ISA department, was we are following a playbook of other realtors who locally do this and are getting hundreds of leads every single month. And if we do that, we are going to dramatically change the business. So the reason that this topic of what is my job has been top of mind is I am less and less involved in the day-to-day of like operations, and more of my time is strategy, relationships, and content. I would say like 60% of my time at this point is spent thinking of content, like meaning idea generation, writing content. I write a tremendous amount for our business. I write several different email newsletters. I write a lot of different scripting, and that goes into everything else that you see for marketing. Most of it is written by me. And then the third aspect is strategy. So strategy is one, content is another thing that I'm focusing on, and the third is relationships. And that's kind of all over the place. Relationships with our agents, with our employees, and with vendors, and things, growing the business outside, maybe long-term planning it, and recruiting talent both on the agent side and on the employee side. So that is what's got me thinking about this as we're scaling the company, as we're trying to spin up this flywheel, is what really are the things that grow the business? Well, it's attracting employees, it's attracting deals, it's attracting agents, and making the company more valuable for everybody that's involved with it. So this was more of just a kind of a brain dump, if you will, of what we have going on right now. There are a few things that I wish I would have done earlier, and I saw it and I didn't act on it right away. And something that I saw working about 2 years ago was content, and I dipped my toe in with YouTube, and I did not dive in when I saw traction. And I think it was just because the traction was really slow and it did not look like an immediate fix. I could look at it and say, like, this is for sure going to be worth it 5 years from now, but it might take 3 years to even start to get worth it. And it has. even now, to be honest, the amount of time that I've put into the YouTube channel, I mean, I could have gone out and sold $200,000 or $300,000 in GCI, in a month, and a couple of months, and not had to do that. But I think long term, we're going to be eating millions and millions of dollars in GCI from the combined YouTube plus social. And the reason social's popping off the way that it is, pardon my phone going off, the reason social's exploding the way that it is because we have 2 years of content banked. So it's not like I'm just filming so much content right now. I am filming a lot of content. I make 3 videos that are consumer facing every week for that channel. I make this for team leaders. I make one more piece of content that is more generic for real estate agents, if you will. And that's just the long form content. Everything I just said is a 20+ minute video, generally speaking. And then we make short form content as well too on top of that. So this is what I'm thinking about right now, is just how do I attract more to the business, and how do I get better at doing these things? And it's really interesting because it's a different skill set that I have been flexing that muscle, but not anywhere near to the extent that I need to. And I feel in myself that I need to get better at this. So I wanted to put this out there almost as like a self public proclamation that I'm going to do this. But anyway, so that's what we're focusing on right now. That's what we're talking about. I am interested to see what this next season of my job very much has changed. So I'm interested to see what this next season looked like. So different type of episode today, just a conversation. I wanted to make this quick and easy. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get on my email list to have the best possible look into what we're doing, highly recommend it. Link is going to be in the description below. I appreciate watching. And this is another episode down of me growing Onyx Homes from start to finish. And I'll see you in the next one.